I want to start out by talking about where I left off being interviewed by my own expert witness, Dr. Donald Ritchie. He worked here in Nashville at a university, and I'll leave their name out because they're good. But in that asking me these questions, this is for my good in order to proceed to go to court. As I stated, there are elements that you have to have in order to be able to proceed in a medical malpractice case. I'm going to talk about that more in detail and let you all know what happens in Tennessee in order to get into court. You got to be interviewed by expert witness, a therapist, if it's a medical malpractice claim. Then there's some other elements that you have to get a good faith letter. There's an affidavit that has to be signed. You have to give the opposing counsel all your medical records and all of this information, a notice, and then you have to let them know that there's a pending medical malpractice. I could go on with that list. I had to learn these things, and I'll explain that in some of these next videos coming up. But I want to talk about Dr. Ritchie. Dr. Ritchie was with me from 2013 until roughly around 2021. And I may have that date off, but we had to do a deposition. And I'll get the correct date, but we're going to go on with the story because this is what happened. I have the deposition. He was deposed by attorney Wendy Longmire. So at that time, you say, well, did you have an attorney? Yes, his name was Isaac Connor. Attorney Isaac Connor here in Nashville, Tennessee. When I met with him, he told me my case was, well, he could get it settled. So with that being said, we did not with him. There were grave errors. And so in the deposition, Dr. Ritchie flipped the whole script. He believed in everything that I told him and all the information that was given to him. I have a beautiful report from him. Beautiful. But I had noticed in the last 3 weeks prior to that, he had started acting different towards me. Differently. So Isaac, they were rough on me for a minute. But you don't get to be rough on me. I'm a fighter. I'll let you do what you need to do, but at the end of the day, I'm not dumb. You see, when you've been through what I've been through, and you've been through some things in your life, you fight, you live. But let me go back before time ends. So with that being said, we're getting ready for a deposition. We're prepping him. Let me be careful in saying that. I'm prepping him. I'm bringing all the information to all of our meetings. He's in. He's in. I said, okay. Comfortable. Very comfortable. The attorney is telling me, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. All of a sudden, you're going to lose. Wait a minute. Why didn't you tell me that before you took my money? You read the case. You did your background. But Dr. Ritchie, when we get into the deposition, and this deposition is quite lengthy, I'm looking at him and he's looking at me as if he doesn't even know my name. I'm going to give you one line of questions that was asked to him. He was asked, did this really happen? And he said, Then he leans back in his chair. The attorney asked him, and I'm paraphrasing this, she says, do you have a good memory? He leans back in that chair and he says, sometimes. She said, do you even remember this? He didn't have a direct answer. So she said, well, did you keep the data that you was supposed to keep? He said, nope, I don't have it anymore. Did I say we prepped him for a week or more? And I gave him all the information because I had all the data. He got it before the deposition. We went through the meetings. I have it documented. Matter of fact, I recorded all those meetings. So for the days when they said it did not happen, as you attorneys that are listening, and Dr. Ritchie, as you're watching my videos, just know the clock is ticking. Where is the justice in that? He completely threw my case. He came the next day. I had a letter to terminate him, and he quit. He was with me from 2013 to 2021 or 2. Where is the justice in that? Do you find something strange in that? Dr. Donald Ritchie. Why did you do that? Why?